All right. I think that I think we're rolling. I am going to, um, I'm going to swap my camera in here real quick. I'm also going to make sure it's just every time. My cat goes absolutely crazy. For some reason, she hates me talking to the computer. Also, I am going to. Oh, I can't remember what I was going to do. Great. So that's all good. I have YouTube open. If we have anybody watching that wants to comment, like, subscribe, do all the crap. I was going to look for some. Oh, I need to open this image real quick so that I can use it as my color. Oh, I already have the color reference, so maybe I'm not looking for anything. Who knows? Okay, anyway, I'm just trying to work on this little rabbit character. I've got double glasses on today. Hopefully that will actually help me and not be an issue. Okay, and I'm going to put this little guy right where he's at. Actually, I'm going to drag him down one. He's going to just be my reference, this little one over here to the side. And then I'm just going to start drawing some stuff out. I'm going to try and be very kind of simple about this. I'm not going to do all the hairs. It is just literally going to be the basics here. And I might just use the pen tool on this one. So it's just going to be a very simplified version of this guy. Man murders cat. More at 11. She only does this when I do this. It's the weirdest thing. Okay, so I'm going to move these around. Probably need to add another one right in here. And keep going. So that is my, we're going to call this ear left tip. And this one will be ear left. So I got to decide if I have ear under here to show. I probably will, so this is going to kind of double that portion of the ear. That way we have an ear kind of like back to manage. Okay, there is that one. So I need to make some shapes out of those. I'm going to go with this ear tip first, and we are going to select it. And I'm going to use a both on it for now. Create shape. And we're going to use our lovely little reference here just to fill the color in on that. So hopefully this will allow me to do what I need. I think it did finally, which it never lets me do that on this monitor. Maybe my pressure sensitivity is working even. That'd be something, wouldn't it? Let's just test it. And it's not, of course. But at least the select from this screen is working, which I find pretty interesting. Let's see, I'll just check my... No, it isn't. Well, one could hope. We'll worry about that in a bit. Matter of fact, this image here can be moved to where it's just the... We can pick the colors from the other screen, is what I was trying to say. And that'd be a pretty easy thing to probably to manage if I just open that up. Trying to get organized here, and I just can't. Cat gets me so discombobulated and I can't when she does that, I just can't recover, it seems like. I thought I had a dockable window for seeing how many people are on. Well, I guess not. I did, but I closed it. Now I can't reopen it. Anyway, we do have still the chat and all that I can just look at if need be. I'm gonna like my own video. Why not? Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and open. I'm gonna open this one on my other screen. So let's see, where are we at? That way I can just sample color from over here, since I am having such a hard time doing it on this screen. I gotta make this one close enough to where I can reach it without having to go 10 different miles to reach that. Cool. Okay, so now we will come over here and grab our shape and that guy. And so now I can run up here and say, hey, you, use this color, please. And we're good to go. Okay, so now let's go back to the ear, which is going to be actually behind that ear tip. And we're going to go ahead and create that shape here too. Those are going to get both. And it should have the same color because it's already there. Let's go ahead and make the other ear. This is going to be ear right. And then I'm going to, the way it's lined up here, I'm going to go ahead and put it below because the left ear will be more toward the front at the moment. And we're just going to create this shape. I'm going to remember to just do like so. Once we have that, we're going to create that one too. I'll worry about my lines later. And now I'm going to create another vector which will go in front, and this one will be ear tip right. Now the cat's laying on her back in the middle of the floor. Totally happy. I don't know. Guess she got the attention she needed. Okay, and then I'm just going to come down here like this. Like I said, we're not doing all the hairs. It's just going to be kind of like the simplified version, which I want to do. I want to do not 400 lines and 400 shades of color. I want to really try and find out how I can refine my stuff down to where, you know, when I'm drawing it and manipulating it, it's not taking me 4 years to set up a smart action, you know, which is what they're for, you know, so that you can have more kind of heavy duty stuff. But yeah, I don't really, I mean, my purpose is to do this quicker than frame by frame, and not, might as well just pick frame by frame if that's where I'm going to go with it. Okay, so we're going to create that one as well. While I've got this color, I'm going to go ahead and get our head. And I'm thinking, yeah, this whole muzzle area is going to be a separate object, and this head is going to be a separate object. Now, I could use liquid shapes for that. That's a possibility. So let's go ahead in front of all these. Since the ears are going to be behind the head, we'll add another vector. I'm going to call this head. The other one will call it mouth or snout, muzzle, something, jukebox, whatever works. And I'm going to make sure too that if you guys are coming on here that I can at least see the chat. So I've got somebody in here. Getting to hate them. Oh, well, it just depends. If you've ever done any tutorials using Illustrator, that kind of carry over. I'm trying to do an Illustrator for Moho tutorial right now, and that I'm creating. And yeah, there are limitations, but there's also not. It's how you use it. So Illustrator, if you do it kind of the classic Illustrator way, yeah, you have shapes bumping up against each other. You kind of do it the same way you do in here, to be honest with you. Just make your shapes in the appropriate layers, in the appropriate groupings, and it works, and it's very fast. My thing is I just don't like to jump around programs if I don't have to, but at the same time, if something's going to be better for me, even for one part of the process, it's worth doing, you know. But I am all about saving time. All right, so on this head layer, I'm just going to pull out kind of the general head shape here. And something like this. And if you don't know about liquid shapes, there's a small tutorial I made on my channel for it. But I'm going to be doing something a little more elaborate with it at some point coming up. SVG animations. Okay. Oh, yourself, your own limitations. I gotcha. Gotcha. Layer shading. I need to use only one layer because After Effects will going crazy. No, use Moho. You can also do it in Moho. You can also do it in Illustrator with masks. That's what I do it in Moho with. Basically, this rabbit you see here, all this layer shading, all this stuff I can do, and you can soft edge it, and then you can mask all this stuff to where it doesn't go over the edges. It's 100% possible, and actually easy. I do it all the time. I'm actually trying. It's funny you came on because I'm trying to do one without all that right now. So, but there are tutorials on my channel that do have. Matter of fact, I just completed one about layer shading in Moho. So just look that one up if it helps. It's called, I think, layer shading in Moho. Okay, so we've got the head basic shape now. And I'm going to do this muzzle basic shape. So I'm just going to add another vector here. Muzzle. So muzzle. It's just the main part of the muzzle. And I'm just going to follow around the main shape and not the entire... not all the hairs or anything, is what I guess I mean. And just do this kind of thing. Get that. Go ahead and create our shape for it. Now, I was thinking the muzzle and head could be a liquid shape together. So I think that is what I'm going to do. Let me show you if you haven't seen that before too. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. So you're trying to export it from Moho, or you're trying to export it from Illustrator. So here we go. I'm going to cut that shape. I'm going to come back over here to the head layer, and I'm going to paste it on. And then I'm going to take the shapes, since they're in the same layer. And you can see here we've got this guy, the normal, and we've got this guy. We have to decide which one is going to kind of act, I think, as the liquid shape, if I remember. I don't remember, but I'm going to try. It's either the top or the bottom. Looks to be the bottom. There we go. Okay, so now if I move that shape around, this will blow your mind. If you haven't seen it, it will meld with, let me turn the curves off, that other shape. Let me turn off this as well. And you can see if I do, in fact, move this specifically, check that out how it just blends. And if you want, you can actually increase the blend of that shape right here to give you even more blending. And it's two shapes. And the whole reason why you would even do this is because when you turn the head, let's say, you would want to have this be able to change shape if the head's turning. And it's still two shapes. They just bleed together. So pretty cool stuff. Let me turn my stuff back on to see what I'm doing. So I hope that helps a little with something. Let's see here. Yeah, it can be very useful. Also, there was a time where I was like, I have no idea what I would use this for. But then I figured it out. So, yes, and it gets rid of all your lines in between automatically and everything too. So that's pretty handy. I'm going to use that for this, so we get a nice, good head turn. I'm going to not use it on the ears, though, because these need to hang over in front of the other ones. I can just make my lines here minused out, and that's a very simple thing to do by just going to my ear tips. And obviously, you can go here and turn the lines off for that part. The other ear tip. And I'm going to be doing some really individualized tutorials as well that are going to be about the specific, very, very specific tools and very specific things about them, as opposed to just doing these hour-and-a-half long things that you have to sit through and watch. So that'll be cool. All right, so let's see. We're going to have to do the insides of those ears eventually. I need some eyebrows, obviously whiskers, hair. Let's go ahead and do like his little bottom jaw here. That's going to be underneath the muzzle, underneath, well, maybe not underneath the head, but definitely under the muzzle. So I'll put it right above the head, and we're going to call this jaw to start with. I'm probably needing to do a separate chin. So I'm going to do a jaw and a chin. We'll do jaw first. The chin will be like a ball that goes on the front. So this will just be jaw, and I'm just going to kind of come back from here and sort of, at the moment, do this. And I don't know where this is going yet as far as what it will need to do later, is what I mean. And we're going to go ahead and do both, say create shape. This should be getting the same brown. It looks like it is. Brown, brown, it's coming down. So that goes behind the muzzle. And let's just check that here by turning everything off. This needs to actually be behind the head now, I'm just realizing. But there is going to be a front muzzle to this. So it's probably okay where it's at, because there's going to be these front cheek parts in this thing that are a different color. And so on top of that now, on the jaw, we're going to make the little puff in the front. So I'm going to say chin. I'm doing this all with 2 pairs of glasses on. And just here, I'm going to make this sort of chin here, maybe with a little tiny piece of hair here like this, just to, we're going to have some eventually. But this will be nice to have, because when we turn the head, this can slide back and forth in front of the jaw as its own shape, which will allow you, to get freedom of that turn without having to do a lot of crazy point animation to get that to work. Okay, and we're just going to call that chin. This may or may not be a lighter color. It probably will eventually. So I'm just going to grab that shape. Go ahead and the reason why I don't have auto stroke and auto fill on is because sometimes it doesn't do what you want. I'd rather go in and do it manually. Know that I'm 100% in control of what's going on. Not that I'm a control freak, but I am. All right, and let's just come in here. We're going to take that stroke down there to about 2. I think that'll be better for all of these parts now that I'm looking. So right here as well, just turn it into 2. The muzzle as well. Let me find that. It's in a liquid shape, so I don't know if it's going to let me select it the same way. Oh boy, let's see. Are we not in frame 0? We are. What's going on there? I might have to select that in a different way. I'm not sure why it's not letting me select this. Maybe, because it's part of the head. I knew that. The muzzle group, I don't think has anything in it anymore. So the head, both of these, I'm going to run these down to 2. So this is going to be 2. This is going to be, it says it's already 2, but we know that's not true. So that, I have to grab the shape. That's why, my bad. So we grab the shape. This is now 4, but now it's 2. And then this upper part is now going to be 2. They should all change to the same one that's on top. The shape that's on top. The muzzle has nothing in it. This is where we're going to draw our mouth basically. And I think the ear tips are the ones that also need to have this change. So I'm going to grab their shapes and put in 2 as well. And the ear, that will be 2. Other ear tip, of course, 2. And the other ear at 2. All right, so now we're in business. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get the details later, like the insides of the ears and so on. I'm just trying to flesh out the main body. So the muzzle will go for next because it's kind of the next sort of layer of all of this. I'm going to go for, you know, being a little bit careful here by not using my, what do you call it, my freehand tool. I do like the freehand one though. But right now I'm not working with pressure sensitivity on this monitor due to an incompatibility, it seems like, with the new version of Moho. So I'm trying to work that out somehow. I've asked and asked and nobody will give me an answer about it. They just keep shouting Windows Ink, and then I look into it and Windows Ink, is whether it's on or off or restarted or reapplied or it does nothing. So it's a little bit sad that's the case, because I really need that pressure sensitivity. That's why I started messing around with Illustrator, because it has no problem with my drawing and everything in there for this monitor I'm using. I'm using a Huion 24 Pro, and it's seems to be just fine in Illustrator. All right, so I'm just going to create that shape. This is going to be a lighter shape. So once we get this created, I'm only going to use, I think I'm only going to use, well, let's go ahead and do both for now for the shape, the outline. I'll find out where I need outlines and where I don't after the fact. And then we come back in here and we are selected. I'm going to grab my color here and select the main color of that. And now you can see what I've gotten done so far is this. Not tons, but you know, that's the way it needs to be. Cool, so we got a muzzle, we've got our head and ears, and the chin and jaw. The jaw, if you notice, does need to have a line or two removed, so I'm going to hide this. And I'm just going to remove, I think, just that one line right there. So that's going to be on the chin, just this bit. And I think everything else will be fine. As far as I know, from forever, this will not ever be seen, those two lines. Even though I just took them off, they won't be seen later. So there we go. So now we have our muzzle on there. And I'm going to go through here and create the mouth and the nose and all that good stuff. So we're going to add a layer. This needs to go above the muzzle, above the chin, everything. So we're going to put it right up on the top. We're going to call this mouth. So this is really the upper lip, and I'm just going to call it mouth because it makes sense. And we're just going to draw a shape that comes around, even though my lower jaw probably is not exactly how this is configured. So what I want to have to do is probably take this lower jaw and somehow make it part of that shape. That's what I am seeing. I'm going to go ahead and also create a secondary side of this, whether we're going to see it or not right now. The jaw, though, yeah, it's going to need some adjustment there. And then with that, go ahead and take both these lines here, and we'll apply just the stroke to them. And that should all be good unless we need it thicker or thinner somewhere, but I think for now that's okay. And this really, I don't think, needs to go that far out. It is a cartoon character though, you know. Just put a little bit maybe. Alright, so that's the mouth for now. Let's go ahead and create the layer for the nose. So I'm going to say vector layer. We're going to write nose. If I spell it right, which would be a miracle. And like I said, I'm avoiding a lot of colors and shading. So, 2 Too detailed. Yeah, that's the best way. You just do the, and I don't want to add a whole lot of detail in it because this is the kind of thing that honestly I like the image that I've got here, but I want to see how simple I can get it and still have it look good, if that makes sense. I'm usually really guilty of overdoing the complexity, the detail, the shadows, which is great, looks fantastic, and it becomes a huge pain in the butt to animate. So we'll go ahead and move this around just a little bit. And now with my shape tool here, create, we're going to use both. We're going to go ahead and create, and then we're going to come over here and grab the nose color, at least the lighter middle nose color. So with that selected, I'm just going to do that. I'm grabbing this off of an image on my other screen in case you're wondering. And now we have our basic nose shape. I'm going to put a little nostril. I'm going to do it on the same layer as the nose. So with the nose still selected, I'm going to come in here and create, probably hand draw this. I'm just going to check my stroke size and everything. I'm also going to make sure that this is the, it says it's the right color. It looks awfully light, but that could be because I have the tracing image. Yep, that is why. So we'll put that back on. And then I'm just going to create the little nostril area like so. This little line, if I can get it right. That works for me. And just leave it at that. I don't want to put 500 lines in here. There's no point right now. And I kind of don't want to do that anyway. Okay, cool. So that is our muzzle, our nose, which looks like this now. And I think we're good to go. Like I said, I probably do need to connect this jaw and that part of the muzzle at some point, or move this mouth down. Whatever, we'll see. Cool. So now eyes are going to be the next thing. So I'm going to add a vector layer. And this is going to be eye, and I'm going to do these in pieces. So we're going to have the eye shape, we're going to have the white of the eye, and the pupil. 3 different things, because we're going to use masking to make sure that they work and it looks like the pupil is underneath the lids and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go with eye right, and I'm just going to make a circle to start with here, and just kind of grab it from here down, and then of course we can manipulate however we need. There we go, something like that. I'm just using 4 points for that at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and create that shape, and I am going to do both. Create, it won't matter for the eye shape, it will matter for the eye color, because the shape actually gets cut out when you do the masking on it. So you'll see. So that is there. This is like so. I'm going to go ahead and select the color just for now. Let's go ahead and grab the white that's on the left eye, because I kind of like the fact that it's not white. There we go. So there is that one. And now I need to, I'm going to use that as my cutout. So I'm going to make another layer right on top of that. And the cat needs to get off my mixer, and she's pawing at my screen. My favorite thing. This is going to be my eye white. And I will mute this so it doesn't look too confusing until we get the masking on it in a minute here. On the eye white, it doesn't matter how big or how much it sticks out, because it's going to be masked by the eye shape we just drew. So I'm just going to make a bigger circle like that. This will be the actual color of the eye. And I'm not going to do shading yet or anything. And then I'm going to create another layer here, and this is going to be our pupil. And you're wondering why I'm leaving that bigger white in there. Like I said, it gets cut out by the shape beneath it. So the pupil, we're going to go ahead, and I am going to just make it here like about that size. It doesn't have to be exact, but let's be a little particular, because it never hurts to make it look good, I always say. All right, and then we will snag that, and we will go ahead just use fill on this one. It's going to be a black pupil. We're going to create. We're going to come over here, change over to the shape now. And once we have that shape selected, I'm going to grab that fill and just go black with it. So that will be like so. I'm not going to worry about the highlight yet either. So now, to show you what I was talking about with the eye, we have the eye shape, the eye white, and the pupil. We're going to right click and group those together. I'm going to call this eye right, the songs that make the whole, no. And then I'm going to double click on the folder, go to masking and say hide all. And when I apply, check what happens. This white's going to go away, or it's going to be cut off by the eyeball, and the eyeball outline is kind of going to be the cutout hole. We're going to say okay, and bang, there it goes. And then on the last one, if I want to keep my strokes, I just go back to masking on the bottom layer and say exclude strokes, apply, or okay, and that is good to go. So I'll turn off my image here, and you can see that works, except for the fact for some reason we don't have our strokes. For one, the eye also is in front of our muzzle, which we don't want, so I'm going to pull this back below the muzzle. There we go, it's cut off at least there. And in that eye, let me just double check to make sure what we got going on. The masking says hide all, which we want. Apply, okay. And then the pupil, the eye white, and the right eye, which is the cutout, should have masking and should say exclude strokes. Evidently, I didn't put strokes on it, I guess. I think that is true. So let's check our eye white. The eye white didn't matter if it had strokes on it, and it is being masked. So we're going to go back to this eye here. Select the shape. I think I just don't have the strokes on it. And I don't. Look at that right there. Bang. Okay, now we're good to go. That's what I wanted. So far, looks a little like the quick rabbit, I think. And now we can come back over and make the next one. Let's turn our image back on. He's rather crazy. And I'm going to just duplicate this eye now. So we're just going to duplicate layer, which will duplicate the whole group. I am going to come in here and rename that to left. Normally I open these up, and if I have anything that says right like that, I will go in and say left, just to, you know, be thorough. And then of course I'm going to select my origin to make sure that the origin, here it is, of the layers are here. The origin of this eye is here. And I'm going to take that that left eye, grab it as the layer, and I'm going to move that over, and we're going to reshape this one. Just kind of get the pupil approximately in the same spot, and then open it up. And we're going to go and reshape the outside here. I'm just going to grab points and move them to the right spots. Something that looks good. And if for some reason, you know, the shape isn't right, you can always come into your curvature tool and adjust that around however you need to. Something like that. Then we're going to go, the eye white is, it needs some work. So we're going to pull it this way and that way. This is just the part that's, it's underlapping, you know, it's under the edges of that eye hole. No dirty word there. And then the pupil, I'm just going to come in now and reshape it to kind of match. This is a little bit of a quick rabbit meets Roger Rabbit, it looks like. And then we're going to open up this curves here, just kind of get stuff correct. Move this one just over a little, this one up a little. And you get really used to doing this after a while, so it's pretty easy to make it all happen. He's got no eyelids, but I do like this little tiny line that's coming around the under part of his eye. So with this eye right here, which is the open hole but the shape, we're going to make a little line that comes off of that to basically create this And the reason why I did that so far away is I didn't want those to bond. So I just click enter. I didn't want those to weld together. I do have my auto weld turned off, but sometimes it goes ahead and does like what I just did there, and does what it wants to. So let me go like that. And it's not bad. I think though, let's just add this curve to get that more underneath. And now I can create the shape here by selecting that line. We're just going to use the stroke, create shape, and then we have our shape. And if you want, we can come in here, thin out that end by using the line width tool, which is, you know, super handy tool. So for now, I think that's okay. There might be another one over here we have to get, but I kind of do that as I go. I'm not sure I like that that pupil's so wonky, but that's all right. We can either adjust it later. Yeah, I don't really like it that wonky. So I think what I'm going to do is go back into the pupil, and I'm going to shape it to be like the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these points over to the other side just to get this shape looking good so that it is the same. You're like, why is he stretching that out? But you'll see. So this kind of goes here, here. I will fix the curves on these because that's what they need. And let's adjust those slightly. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This one will come up more, out more here. So close enough. And then we'll take those points, move them back over, and just ignore the fact that that other eye is goofy as Hades. I want to make sure these are not too weird. Okay, so this bottom part needs to be just a little bit softened there. So I'm going to deselect everything. We're going to come through and widen that one out and move it over just a little bit like that. So now we can look at them and the eyes look 10 times better, a little more natural. What's up, Greg? What's up, Ron? Let's see. Oh, is that what happened? Well, maybe that's what happened to me because, man, I hate not having my... if you can find that driver, of course, I don't know if it'll work for my... It will, because they're all the same. Let me know, because I don't know which one is the working one anymore. Okay, so I've got that. We're going to put the hair and all that stuff on him shortly. I'm just trying to get the main parts. So I'm going to close up the eyes. They are already masked and good to go. So the pupils move underneath the head. And let's see. The next thing I want to do here, what did I say? Is put the insides of the ears. So we have the ear right. This one needs this little section put on the inside. So I'm going to have to put it underneath this other part of the ear. That way when the ear lifts up, you'll still see it. And then I'll probably have to, you know, put two overlapping so you won't see a seam there. Simple stuff. You just think your way out of these problems is what I say. So I'm staying within those bounds. And also trying not to overlap any edges that shouldn't be. And there we go. So we go over here and create the shape of this dude. And this one is, it's going to have a line, but it is going to be a brown line from kind of the way I am imagining. Maybe a dark brown line because it's a inner color. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and sample the main portion of that for now. Yeah, so the Untuos you have, that's a non-graphics display, right? That's the one, it's the one on the desk and not the graphical, I think, right? Okay, so there's that inside of the ear layer. Those should both be there. And then we're going to go the ear left and draw another one of those into it. So I'm just going to come down and keep going like so. We're going to make that shape, and all the color should already be in this one. Once that's made, like I said, eventually I'll change those inner lines to a kind of a brown color. But you can see here, this is where we're at, and evidently I did not put that on, or I did not complete the shape. So we're going to grab that shape real quick. We're going to put both. We're going to say create, and then I'm going to come over and make sure, I think I didn't change the color. So we're just going to sample, which I cannot sample off my own monitor right now because of this same whole experience. And we're good to go there. It looks like I needed to leave one of those lines though on the ear right there. So I'm going to go to that left ear tip. Going to find our strokes here, and I'm going to put that one right here back, and then that's good to go. Cool. All right, so he's rather goofy and simple right now, and that is completely understood / the case. I think I am going to go ahead and give a darker piece there. Also, my nose, for whatever reason, I am not seeing my nostril that I drew. So let's go ahead and turn the UI back on, and you can see my nostril is nowhere to be found. I must have accidentally deleted it. So within the nose, real simple. I'm just going to draw with the freehand tool here and do that. And it's good to go. And for the most part anyway. In fact, let's throw on a little bit of a deeper line here that they already have. I think should connect okay. That doesn't have auto weld on it though, so let me undo that one. Let's put this on just for GPs, and it still did not work, did it? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and now it clicks. You heard that click. We know it's good to go when that happens. All right, there. Move these curves just a bit. I'm being too nitpicky, I know, but that's how it comes out good, they say. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab and put this one up here, like so. See if I can fill that spot in. I don't know that I can. It might need to be a separate piece, but we're going to try. I'm going to grab this, maybe that too, and we're going to go ahead and do both and create a new shape. It did not fill it, which is kind of weird. I don't know why that happens that way sometimes. So let me grab this line and just these few points and see if this will actually fill that. I've never tried this. And with a new bit, and I think it does. So we'll go here and create, and I think that absolutely worked. So now I'm going to go over here. We're just going to fill this with a black and say okay, and look at that, it worked, no problem. It's almost like I knew what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So let's just fix a couple of other lines here. Yeah, no, I hear you. These go nicely on the table too, by the way, if you want. But yes, I agree with you that the drawing right on your picture is why I got it, you know. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. This is a trace over, just so you know. Full disclosure. And I'm just trying to get stuff to work right now. I think I'm going to go ahead though and make that the same color. That way when that opens, it doesn't look like it's a weird thing. So, okay, so that's the basic shape there. I need to get these brows in. So we're going to make new layers for the brows. I'm just going to jump in, vector, and go brow right. Boom, and drag this guy around. And sometimes I use the pin, sometimes I use an Apple pin. And then sometimes I will use the, like I said, the freehand tool or the point tool like that. Just depends on the moment, maybe even the day. All right, cool. So we'll create this shape here. We're going to go both, create, and then obviously it's going to be the wrong color. And what I'm going to do is just come grab our head color right there. And this will be behind, I think. No, this has to be in front. So we're going to have to get rid of some of those lines, of course. So boom, boom, and boom, and kaboom, and all that. Okay, cool. That'll be there. Make sure this one is gone. And then that should look pretty good. I'm going to fix the curve right here in the back of that dude. Get this right there. So all of that's working. We're now going to do this big dark bit here. I'm going to do that on another shape, but on the same layer. And just kind of don't want to snap those together is my only thing I'm trying to keep from doing. So I do overshoot those for that exact reason. And you notice when I cross, I try not to bridge any of that. And then I'm going to come in here and tighten these up. Whoops. I didn't want to just sharpen them because I wanted to be able to control what I'm doing. I'll move these a little in a better position here in a sec. And then make sure that I didn't accidentally link, which I did. So that point goes away, which kills a lot. But I'm just going to grab this and put it back. And that all is good. I just have to recolor that. This is why I try to be careful about what intersects. Also, if I turn off my weld points there, I shouldn't be having that problem. So let me just go to here, auto weld, turn that off. And now I'm going to just adjust these points around into the shape I wanted them to begin with. This one I have to get a sharp right there. Add in just another, well, we could probably do that, just curving that like so. Getting this up there, pretty close. And I think I might add another one right here. And we got to be careful we don't snap. And this one right here, maybe right there. And then I'll take the sharp out of this one quite a bit. Then move it better in position. I think that is looking all right now. Like this. So now I'm going to come in, redo the skin on that eyebrow by re-clicking it. I think our color is still there. So we're going to create, we'll have to probably go back in and take those black edges off again, but I'm not going to worry about it at the very, very moment. And I don't know for a fact that that's true. Just pull this one out a little bit. No, you don't have to. So now I'm going to go through and create this shape here. And we're going to do that just with the fill, create it, and we're going to make that black. And I need to actually add a couple more points I just noticed. So let's put one here. We're going to move this one to there, and we should be pretty good. I could sharp that one more, but I'm just going to leave it for now. And we're going to grab that and make sure that we use just fill. We're going to create, and then we're going to come over here and select our color, which should just be the standard black, but I'm gonna double check that. It could be a dark brown. So let's see. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Really nice. Thank you. Okay, so there is that. That's an eyebrow. In fact, because it's the eyebrow and it is a separate piece, we might as well go in and do a couple of these little hairs on it because they're gonna be there with the eyebrow anyway. So I might as well sort of include those together as one object. I don't mind, you know what I mean? Cool, so that's done. Let's go ahead and do the other brow. So I'm just going to create another vector layer. Call this brow left. And now do the same exact process here. I'm just going to sort of skirt around the shape there a little bit like so. And I'm going to kind of come around the eye here. Why not? There's nothing saying that we can't do that. And it depends. What are we going to do with the eyebrow when we do it? I just wanted a piece that we could move around, and I'll figure out exactly how that does so later. That one actually should be with the eyes because that's more of an eyelid area there. So I'm just going to pull this back some. I think that's all okay. That is part of the eyebrow, as is that. So now, once again, we're going to fill this in. It's going to go probably completely black when we do it. So let's just do it, and boom. And now we're going to have to sample the color from sorry, what am I doing? Where is my... Oh, there it is. I'm going to sample the skin color here. Click. We're going to remove some of those lines. So I'm just going to come here now and just start clicking away on the ones I know we do not want. I'm not even going to worry about any of the ones on the underside because, well, we don't need them. And just try to go to here, I think. Well, I might want to keep that one. Let's find out. That one will be good there. We'll change the curvature just a little bit on this end piece. And then add that line back on because that continues our little brow. And then we'll taper off some of these lines here in a sec. I'm just going to pull this out a little nicer. Or more nice, as they say. All right, and then with that, we can use our line width tool, just kind of coming through here to get a little more nice taper on these lines. You can always go back through here and vary the width as well, and that will help it look more hand-drawn. So 15.7.9, you mean the release? Because this is 13.4. So which 15? Oh, you mean the drivers. Okay. Okay, so don't get 15.7.9. Gotcha. If you could send me that in just like a little message on Facebook or something, that'd be cool because I will forget it. Guaranteed. Okay, let's see. Just do this. Get me a few lines in here. I'm trying to make this super simple, so I'm being kind of careful how many of these I put in. Because I don't want to make this whole, ridiculous grand thing. Okay, so that's probably okay there. For that eyebrow, I'll probably take out that little bit. I don't like that dot that I accidentally made. Let's just grab that. Huck to a girl for president. All right, and let's do this and try to thin out maybe this line a little bit, not horribly, just kind of like so. Enough to, make a difference. And like so. I think that's okay. Being too much of a perfectionist here. Cool. So let's see what it looks like without the tracing image underneath. It is coming along. Let's move this up to you get the idea. I'll probably go in and bushy out these eyebrows more, but while we're on this left brow, add some hairs as there should be to the top with this freehand tool. I don't want to get too ridiculous with them. Just a few to make sure it feels like he's got hair. Imagine that. Okay, that's probably enough. I'm just wanting to go crazy with it, so So that looks a little bit better. Not perfect. I'm not caring for that one hair right there. I know it's kind of a silly thing to say, but like, really, dude, one hair? But let's fix it. Let's just, we could move these around and probably fix it just the same. Let's just put these in a, oops, couple of better places. Like so, like so. I'll fix the curvature. And that one, they need to all be curvaturized here in a better way. Like so. And then all that needs to bow out that way. This is where I get stupid picky, because I mean, this really isn't necessary to be this picky. Not really worried about that either. So now I'm going to thin this out toward the end. You know, something maybe even thicken that one like to here, and you get the idea. That way it's a little better, you know, it's got a little more Disneyness to it. And with that, let's go ahead and just quickly go to my well, the head here needs some of these jaggy hairs, Mick Jaggy hairs for that matter. And I'm just going to, well, I'm worried about hand drawing them in because there's going to be 1,000 lines I have to deal with. So I am going to grab just like this to here, and this to here and here. And of course, you can go as crazy as you want. I'm trying to avoid any imperial entanglements. Now I'm trying to avoid overdoing this because it's super, super easy to do, especially me. We could keep this as a separate object, I suppose. Let's just find out how close I got, because I did not have auto weld on, which is good. And let me adjust the curves now. We'll just fix this guy. We have to put another point in here to make sure it goes behind the head, and then start sharpening certain points. Boink. I really like the fact that you can click that button. I wish there was a shortcut for that button, because it's there probably is, I just don't know what it is. So then I can click on these peaks. Watch, Greg's gonna pop in. Oh, that shortcut's this. And I'll be like, you little. So there's that. There is that one, and you have to do these one at a time. I tried to do two. You can't select two of them, which seems also quite silly, given you don't even have a shortcut for the button. Because otherwise you can just go get them all done, or you know, one after the other at least. So I'm sure there's a shortcut for that button somewhere. I just have to look it up. I usually come across the shortcuts and stuff by mistake, accidentally. I will hear things in a tutorial and go, oh good, I'm glad they said that, because I wasn't going to look it up. I'm kind of a hard-headed person that way, but also a natural learner that way. Just depends on how you do things, I guess. And we'll put that there for now. Just kind of get these relatively close. And then, of course, select shape and get us create. Here we're going to do both, create. And that one's going to have to be behind this layer. So while I have it selected, I'm going to go to draw, lower to back, which it will do. And while we have that selected as well, we're going to go to the shape and make sure that that's also on a 2, which it is. And then I need to figure out the color. Probably is just going to be the standard head color at this point. So let's find out. And I think what I want to do is erase some of these lines in between. So let's figure out which ones we can do. It's not being very nice to me to do it right now. But that's probably because I'm not on the actual head layer. So I'm just going to click on those. Then we're going to go to that shape that I'm trying to hide it on. For starters, with this one, we're just going to go blip. And then we're going to try and go to this one. I don't know if this is working or not. It doesn't look like it. And try to hide these. And I don't know why that's happening, if it's because it's on the same layer as the other or what. So very strange that it's not hiding those edges. I don't know that you have to be... it's on frame 1, everything, or 0. Because normally you can just come in here and say hide that, because you can do it here without a problem. So now maybe I have to click on the shape. That's probably what it is. So the shape, now we're going to go on the hide edge, and seems like that would have worked. Guess not. It's probably controlled by the liquid shapes is what it is. So now we're going to go and grab the other shape, which is this one, and now it'll probably work because it's controlled by the liquid shape that's in control. And I'm a complete liar because it is still not working. Cool, but you know what? I don't think it is controlled by the liquid shape. Gotcha. So I'm going to put the hair possibly on top. Yeah, you'll see what I mean, because I can control that shape. So we'll do this, and then we're going to drag it, draw. You know, we're going to raise the shape, which there is, I think it's a bracket key that you have to use. Now, that one is to the front, but what we've done is effectively screwed our liquid shape. So what I'm going to do is undo that. We're going to cut that shape, give it its own layer, because enough of that business. And I'm going to go boom and back to layer and hair side L. And within there we will paste that dude back in. And if you notice, our little thing is gone. And if we have to hide that, I think we can still within the two liquid shapes. I'm not sure, because that might cancel out hiding lines, which it does. So cool, because we've already solved the problem anyway with this way, and it looks fantastic, so I ain't worried about it. I am going to take another one of these though, this hair. I'm going to duplicate it for the other side, because when we turn this head, we're going to need that. So I'm just preparing for that. So for right, and with that there, I'm going to select its layer, going to flip it. Actually, let's go ahead and give it an origin first, and I'm going to flip that over, and then we're going to stick it to the other side, kind of hidden behind the head for now, like so. And that way, you know, when the head turns, we can just shove this out and show the hair and not. So that will be there. Cool. Then we need muzzle, or I'm sorry, the cheek hairs. And we can go in and add a couple here on the ears. And yeah, I think overall, though, he's looking good. It's going pretty quick. And how long have I been going? I don't even know at this point. Looks like it's been about an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I'm going to go chill out a little bit or something, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. There will be more, and there'll be more on this character specifically coming.